Hello y'all, welcome. My name is Lauren and today I'm going to be going through my Hobonichi Weeks reading journal and I'm like a tiny bit behind. So this is kind of like a how I use my reading journal slash journal with me at the end. We might do like a little craft, but we'll see how it goes. So let's get into it. Nothing too groundbreaking from the setup video. Love the way that I decorated this with the pages, the stickers, oh, so cute. Okay, and here we have a tiny bit of updates, very fun. So I do color in the day that I finish a book. Yeah, and I was going to like transfer the 2025 days in here and then I didn't. I don't think I will, to be honest. I don't know, but it was an idea in the back of my mind for a brief moment in time. Started my like book stats kind of chart. So the way that this works is that I have this key over here, total books, total pages, library books, purchased books, physical books, and digital books. And then I use like the day numbers for those. And then I also added the page number scale on the day. So 500 pages is like the date number 5, 1,000 is 10, and so on and so forth. So there's like probably no way that I'll get to 3,000. I think the most I've gotten is like maybe 2,000, maybe like the high 1,000 pages. But it'll look like a really fun line graph at the end of the year. So that's how long it takes to look satisfying. Well, actually by the end of June, you know, then we have like a nice 6 months of data is pretty fun. Oh, and then I also added this star, and that is the overall total of books. So it kind of like shoots across the page. And then once I get to like 31, then it becomes 32 and, you know, counts up that way. This is just like another visual book count tracker, pretty much, we'll say. So I normally add like a piece of washi tape for each book that I finish. But then I got this really fun sticker in some Happy Mail. I'm pretty sure it was from my friend Genevieve, Ghosted Romantic. I think this is an hour studio tape, but this was so cool, so fun. So of course I had to add it. And yeah, right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. So I think I'm quite a few behind. I read 6 books in January, but that is okay. I don't really feel like updating that now, but I will eventually. Okay, some more fun stuff, some more progress. I'm super excited about like this progress bar for my overall reading goal, which is 50 books for the year. And I kind of color in a little box. So each like little box is a book. I was really lucky that it like worked out that way. And I color in the box with like the color I use to write the book. And then at the end of the month, I just put the overall percentage of where I'm at for my goal. And then also just added those stats here again. I was running out of ink when I wrote this and it haunts me. I should have just refilled it, but that is okay. And then these little stickers are for the genre that's also on that key overview page. And I just add them, yeah, like right on the book. And it also has like all of the other kind of stats for the book. So this indicates what page in the back pages the review is on. And then obviously we have the star rating, the page count is like the larger number. And then also like the little key for like library, physical, digital, that kind of thing. Which I'm realizing, I don't know, it looks fine in the overall key, but I think like next to each other, my empty circle and my empty square look a little similar to each other. So I think I just have to take some extra time drawing those. Okay, and now we get into the updates, yay! Oh, and yeah, I just carried over the previous month's count in like a dark ink and then kept going. So I have 6 books. I didn't like recolor them in with their own ink. I just colored them in with like the dark blue ink I'm using as like a neutral ink throughout this book and then kept going. I unfortunately did not finish The Witch Who Chases the Sun. It was a really great premise. I did like it. Well, actually, obviously that's not true. I did not like it. I think it just had like a noticeable amount of typos, which really isn't the author's fault, but also it was kind of compared to The Priory of the Orange Tree, which is like a very high fantasy. And I don't know, I don't think, at least from what I read, I think I read about maybe like 10 to 12%. It did not have anywhere near that level of like fantasy world detail, which obviously could change, you know, the further you get on in the book, but I think I really don't like it when they compare books to other books. I feel like it just does both of the books a disservice. So I had that in my mind and I don't think it quite lived up to the Priory, but I mean, I'm sure it's a great book in its own right for the right people. Anyway, okay. So we are going to add Interior Chinatown by Charles Yu to the monthly overview. This has been on my TBR for like quite a while, and in my head I was like, oh, I should read it before the show comes out. The show came out in 2024, so I've got plenty of time to read this and then watch the show, which I heard is really good, but I haven't really seen it like anywhere, I guess? I don't know. I haven't seen anyone talk about it, but then again, I guess I just wasn't paying attention in 2024, so who knows? Oh, and then I do have my Hobonichi Tacho, which is where I keep track of days I read with this square. So yeah, I do keep track of it in a lot of different places. It's kind of silly to have like the same information across a bunch of different books, but I like it. I don't know. I don't mind transferring it. That is its like own kind of hobby, I think. And yeah, let's go for it. So I started this book on Tuesday the 10th. And I've been doing like alternating between the first line and the second line, like filling that in, and I think that's been working. So let's do that. We'll scooch this out. Oh, and this is Cat General in my TWSBI Eco. Really lovely ink. And then I also read on Thursday and have not read since then, but that is okay. Wednesday, this is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I have all the information I want to add. I was reading the author's name for like a little bit, but it just is like a little too tight, and I really don't need it to be here, so that is okay. Oh, and then this line indicates that I'm like in the middle of a book but didn't actually read on that day, versus like a whole blank square is just that I was not in the middle of the book, I didn't read it all on that day. And then we add how many pages? And then I got this book from the library, and it's a physical book, which is the Circle and Diamond. Yes, okay. Hopefully we can draw those okay. Still, I don't know, maybe I think my circles are not quite circular enough. I think that's the crux of the issue. We will get there. Okay, and then I think I don't have, obviously there's a ton of genres. I think contemporary is one of the ones I got. Yeah, okay, so it's the bright yellow. So we get to get a bright yellow sticker. And these are just the Stayology, I think they're called like masking tape dots or something like that, but they come in like a zillion colors. These are great. And they do stick to each other sometimes, but that is okay. I didn't really see the point of like sticker tweezers, and then I do something like this and I'm like, I get it, y'all. That would be really nice. Okay, there we go. And I did it so they're like a little bit bigger than the grid, and I think that's because Hobonichi Weeks actually has the smallest grid out of all Hobonichi notebooks. I think, yeah, you could kind of tell the grid in the Tacho is slightly bigger, and I think, yeah, everywhere else it's slightly bigger. So anyway, the circle dots are like a little bit too big. It's not really like an issue, just something that I like to be aware of. And then once I'm done, I'll put the rating above the page number. Okay, so I don't think we need this anymore. Oh, just kidding. It's actually Sunday, and I didn't read the past 2 days either, but it's a pretty short book. I think I'm like 20% of the way through, and it's written in a really cool style, kind of like a play style, I think is what it's called. Oh, we're actually like not quite, but almost. It's really cool. Definitely check it out. I'm enjoying it so far. Okay, I think we're done with these. Let's put some blotting paper in there just in case. And then, oh yeah, so I have my stickers with just a sticker page tip-in. Love how this turned out. Super fun. We have physical books, digital books. Oh my god, I only have a couple of those left. Audiobooks, book of the month stickers. This little butterfly and book is a sticker for when I read outside. It's the winter, haven't done that just yet. This guy is for when I go to the library, and this one is for book club. Okay, so getting into the actual like bulk of the book, I'll do a quick flip through of January and kind of like how I use the book. So my first book of the year was Origins of Desire in Orchid Fen by Lynn Hutchinson Lee. it was pretty solid. I liked it. I think I gave it like 3 stars. I wanted it to be like a little bit weirder, but I always want books to be weirder, so I think the ending really slapped, which is what really pushed it over the edge for me to be like 3 stars. So I basically just take notes, or not take notes, I write my thoughts as I'm reading. So I'll put like the day that I write down those thoughts. So sometimes there's like a bunch of dates. As you can see here, there's just one date because I did this when I finished the book. And then I also add quotes that I really like. So this quote was also towards the end. Very good. Treachery of Swans was my next read by A.B. Poranek. And this one was fun up until the very end, and it like totally ruined the whole book for me. So you have the sense at the end that there's going to be a second book, but instead the epilogue basically wraps up everything, which was really not my most favorite experience. But yeah, the writing was really lovely. I did like the character development, all that stuff. Just the ending really missed for me. So that's why I think I gave this, actually, I think I also gave this one 3 stars just because, you know, it was close. And then my first audiobook of the year, Ember and Ice by Colleen Scriven. Yes, I did count it as an audiobook. This was fun. I had the plot, I don't know, I just wish, I guess I can't really talk about this without talking about some spoilers, so spoiler warning for Ember and Ice. But I really thought they would kill their dads in the end, you know, because they both sucked in different ways. And it was just like, all right, everyone's fine. I was like, what? You're not gonna like overthrow these horrible people? And I mean, there was a point where, I forget the characters' names, but Hudson Williams's dad in the story, you think they're gonna overthrow him. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of on the side of the people who want to kill him, not gonna lie. So yeah, I was on the side of the 2 main characters, of course, but just everyone else, I was like, what are we doing? Anyway, so yeah, kind of off to like a hesitant start to the year, and then we get to A Mouthful of Dust, and oh my god, this was so good. This whole series is called the Singing Hills cycle, or a series, something like that. But anyway, like all of them, this one really slapped. It was perfect. I absolutely loved it, and it was my second audiobook of the year, which is kind of crazy for January 19th, because in the entirety of 2025, I didn't listen to a single audiobook. So I don't know. It's like hard for me to treat them the same as like physical books. I feel like I have to listen to it all at once, otherwise, I don't know. It's like watching a show, like watching a movie, I feel like, for me, for some reason. It's a very different experience. Even though I do know people like start and stop audiobooks as they would physical books, I like can't, I don't know, I can't do it. So this was a novella, and Ember and Ice obviously is also very short, so I was able to listen to those all in one go. But yeah, maybe I should try listening to other books and listening to them, you know, the same way I would read them. But yeah, we'll see. And then I got my first nonfiction book of the year in, Sketching with Fountain Pens by Claudia Berger. This was really lovely, just like a short little zine guide on their online shop, and yeah, it was really nice. It was really inspiring. I really loved it. Definitely recommend checking it out. Oh, did I say their handle? Anyway, it's Claudia at the Cloudy Desk. So fun. They do a lot of really fun paintings, a lot of journaling like we all do. Amazing. And then we get into Helm by Sarah Hall, and I don't know. This book really came around for me. I was so bored at first, and then I got like really into it. Like I read every single day I was reading it, which is like kind of rare for me. So I think that says enough in its own right that I was like interested enough to like really keep going. But the main issue is that I thought it was going to be like short story POVs, but it actually had a couple of overarching POVs that came up again and again, and none of the main characters really did it for me. I wasn't interested in any of them. I think there was like 3. But the side characters that only had like 1 or 2 POV chapters, they were really, really good, especially this guy towards the end. Really loved that chapter. It was so lyrical. It was really beautiful. But it's a really cool book. It's about this wind in the United Kingdom that's kind of like a weather phenomenon that's you're able to trace throughout history because it's like so weird and has taken on this kind of like personality, mythical status in the region. So really cool idea to begin with, and really cool execution. And it's just one of those books you read and you're like, wow, this person is a writer. Like, really excellent writing. And then we get to The Witch Who Chases the Sun by Dawn Chen. Unfortunately, was a DNF for me. Yeah, I gave it a couple of days. 4 days, and yeah, it like didn't, you know, we went from Helm, reading every day, like really determined to finish it, and then, yeah, just wasn't, I don't know, didn't captivate me, but that is a-okay. And then we get to Volatile Memory by Seth Hayden. This was like a second chance author for me. I think I DNF'd his other book last year called Reforged, something like that. But I really liked the premise of this book and was excited to check it out. I think this is another one that I can't really talk about without talking about the ending. So heads up, a spoiler warning for Volatile Memory. So it has a super interesting narrative structure. It's mostly second person, but I think it's actually first person, which is kind of a cool reveal. So it starts off with, you opened the door, you went here, like that kind of thing. And then you get, I knew you were doing this, or like something like that. So the way that happened was really, really cool. I liked that a lot. I don't think I've read a lot of books that have second person narration or first person narration. So that was really cool. So the whole premise is basically this woman gets this mask that has a being in it, and you realize that the person in the mask is a real person. And I mean, overall, I feel like it didn't really have anything new to say about that kind of thing, which is okay. You know, you don't need all sci-fi to be groundbreaking and say something new, but it was like a little heavy-handed with what it wanted you to get, you know, like literal lines in the book were like, am I still a person even though I'm inside this mask? Am I still a woman? You know, that kind of stuff. And it's like, I feel like we're past that. Maybe I just wanted that conversation to be better in the book. There we go. And then we get to, not like a plot reveal, but okay, so basically you find out that the woman in the mask was trafficked into this horrible abusive marriage, and you have to do a lot in a book for me to not be instantly annoyed that like a woman's suffering is like the core of her character development. And I actually don't feel like it was, which was very nice. But then we get to this point where it's like revealed she's in the mask because she was experimented upon because she was infertile. And I'm not laughing at being infertile, obviously. And I just think similar with having a woman be abused, I think you have to do a lot for me to not like roll my eyes at using infertility as like a plot device. And of course, real people who struggle with infertility, that's totally different. I just think in books, a lot of the time, it's like a shorthand, again, for like a woman's character building. And also, yet again, I don't think it was, which is so interesting because that annoyed me even more somehow, because it felt so unnecessary. Like her horrible abusive husband, she was his third infertile wife. So like you're telling me that this, I don't know, high-ranking guy in this horrible, controlling capitalist society, they were just like, yeah, sure, have 3 wives and they'll all be infertile. Like obviously the guy is the issue, you know? And I was waiting for like that to like come up or like be a reveal, like maybe that was his villain origin story and that's why he became abusive and horrible, is because like he's infertile and seen as like defunct by this awful society. Again, not that I believe that in real life, but I just didn't understand. Like you're telling me this is a super advanced capitalist like civilization that's highly controlling, and they're just like, yeah, sure, have 3 wives. Also, the other 2 wives were dead, which I feel like I didn't mention, but it's also important. So I was waiting for that to be a reveal. And I do think that would be interesting because you have a lot of books about men and their legacy and stuff, but I don't really think I've read a book with like a man who struggles with infertility. So I feel like that would have been new and different. Or I was waiting for like, you know, them to find out that this society like altered her memories inside the mask or something, and she was just trafficked into the experiment and like not the marriage. The marriage thing just seems so incidental and unnecessary. And so I was like waiting for something more to like come of it, but it never really did. So yeah, I would say this was a pretty disappointing read overall, and it really annoyed me the more that I thought about it. But I really liked the character in the mask. I think her name was Sable, if I remember correctly. She was really cool. She was amazing. But as far, again, as like the autonomy versus getting to know someone when they're like literally inside your head, I think actually The Luminous Dead did a much better job of that. Yeah, it just didn't hit for me. we'll sum it up as that. Okay, and then I read This Place Kills Me by Mariko Tamaki and Nicole Gu, I believe. G-O-U-X. This one was beautiful, beautifully drawn. The colors, the paneling, or the panels, the art was absolutely fantastic. I think the plot was like a little bit predictable, but I still had a good time reading it. And, you know, again, I don't need everything to be groundbreaking. Yeah, I had a good time. Okay, so let's add Interior Chinatown here. Let's see. I started this on Tuesday. Oh my god, I'm realizing I just wrote Charles Yu here instead of Interior Chinatown. That's hilarious. I think I was talking about how I don't write the author's name, and then that translated in my mind to just writing the author's name. We'll do this. And then I didn't read, or yeah, I only read on Thursday. So I kind of used this line, like if I read a bunch of books in a week, it'd be easy to see where the lines are. I mean, I probably won't read another book this week, but theoretically I could track it that way, like horizontally. So this week it'll look really empty in the middle here, but that's okay. And then, what's today's date? The 15th. Let me write some thoughts. Ooh, I did that way too close. We'll just skip a line. It'll be okay. Okay, and then the last thing we need here is a sticker. This is a physical book, so we get one of these. And I feel like I went to the library this week. I think it was Thursday, yeah. Put our little bear here. Beautiful. Okay, I feel like this is probably dry enough. And then let's fill out the back pages really quick. So I did write the number day of the year in the Hobonichi weeks just because it's easy to reference the 365 days checkoff sheet this way. So we have 41 and 43. And went to the library on 43. So I usually do a little dot. Wow, that's crazy. I guess I go, yeah, like every 2 weeks to the library. As you can see, it's just stacked up right there. Crazy. Okay, and then we'll flip back to the other back pages, book reviews. Let's see. So I like to hand draw all the books for some reason. I think really it was just about not wanting to buy or have to like set up printing covers. I think that would have taken me longer. Now I'm like, I don't know, would it really be that much longer? And it's just kind of like a fun little creative thing that I do. So I do just do these like in one shot. I don't erase like Ember and Ice. I'm so sorry. Connor Story and Hudson Williams do not look the best here. So I don't know, it's just fun to try and capture the essence of a cover without being too precious about it. Like Helm actually was like really easy to draw, has a really iconic cover. Same thing for Treachery of Swans. I think the artist is really, really cool and it like lends itself to a cover really well. Actually, all of these had great covers, honestly. But yeah, it's just fun kind of seeing how quickly I could do it, I guess. Okay, and then I think I actually... do I want to write the name? I won't write it just yet in case as you can see, I wrote She Who Chases anyway, the pink book. I wrote that down here and then cut up some paper to cover it. So I think, well, I'm pretty sure I'll finish Interior Chinatown, but just in case, I won't write it down here just yet. Okay, and then this is a super fun section, themed lists. I did put The Witch Who Chases the Sun in here just because I almost stuck around for Cole, I'm not gonna lie. Cole the Familiar seemed super fun and interesting, but alas, it was not to be. And then of course, Mouthful of Dust also has a really great mix of creatures. So those are the first two books for this page. And then we get my reading challenge book map. I don't think any of these, I thought Volatile Memory would be a sci-fi standalone, but unfortunately it was not. So yeah, I think I need to get a move on if I do want to hit everything on this map. I think I need to read at least like 2 a month or have like 2 a month that qualify here. Actually, I guess I could count A Mouthful of Dust for this one. I don't know, is that a little lame? After the fact, counting a book. You know what? No, I'm gonna do it. So these are the Traveler's Notebook clear stickers that come with the sticker set every year. And I don't know, I went with this pink color, which is like a little light, I'm not gonna lie, but I kind of like it. I feel like it went with the cover of the book itself, like bringing in these tones. So, I don't know. Last year I did the green ones, and those ones are definitely like a little bit more punchy. Okay, and what do I write down the date that I finished it, which was, let's see, January 19th. Okay. And it is number 14. So if you'll notice, I actually did not count the cat in the book creatures section, but don't worry about it. Ooh, and then I actually need to update this page as well. Oh, but I uninked the pen. Tragic. Okay, let's see when that was at least, so we could get the stamp in. February 8th, okay. Okay, and then I'll probably take like a dip pen later or something to add the title, which was This Place Kills Me. Okay, next up is I'd Kiss Them, so characters that I would kiss. Of course, we've got Sable from Volatile Memory on there. She was the best. I'm sure you know what this says, but I don't think YouTube would like that. Anyway, I always like to do like a horror kind of read in the fall, so that's what this page is for. And then a want to read list with like some context of where I like came across the book that I want to read. And then a new addition is the Read Around the World challenge. So this is my friend's idea, and we're doing it as like a friend group challenge. And yeah, we all got really into it. I think for this spread, I'm just going to do my books because I think it would be too many books if I did everyone's books. Like, I don't know, it's hard to gauge. Okay, so the rule is that it has to take place in the country, like, has to have like a real world connection or celebrate a real aspect of a real place. And I'm not sure if we should include authors because I think if I did include authors, it might be too many, but if I did like real world places, then I think it would be okay. So like Volatile Memory, Seth Hayden is from Australia, but I don't think, yeah, I think it'd be more fun to just do like books that physically take place in these places. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the green Stayology dots, and I was like, actually, I don't really know if I need a whole nother colored set of dots. So, you know, again, because this is probably gonna be like 10 or so books. So I thought I would take my fancy hole puncher and we could do it this way. Okay, and then ta-da! Oop, yay, we got them. Okay, so far I have Ontario, which I think is like here in my heart, that's where it is. Oh, and this is a Tombow mono glue stick. And I will try, man, ugh, the sticker tweezers, they're calling my name, y'all. Maybe, I think I have some like Cricut tweezers. Okay, we're gonna try these guys. Ugh, do I like hold it and then glue it? Yeah, I feel like this is the way. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this one was Origins of Desire and Orchid Fens. Is there glue on there? Okay, I think we got it somehow. I'm not using the tweezers, they betrayed me. And then Helm was from the UK, which I think is this little guy. I did this like abstract map, maybe possibly too abstract. Wow, it obliterated the UK. I think that's okay. It's kind of fun. And then also in the back of my mind, I was like, if a book takes place at sea, I could add blue dots for the sea. Like The Life of Pi, I think that was the Pacific Ocean, if anyone remembers that book and or movie. Anyway, okay. So I think I do want to number these. Probably should have done this before. No, it's good that I'm doing it after. Okay, so we'll do number 1, then 2. And then I think I want the list to have a similar structure to the book map. Let's see, for that, what did I do? Oh, okay, it was like in the middle of the grid. Okay, I think we're all set for now. Ta-da! I do want to add the titles, I think, in the color I originally used. And yeah, both of those are uninked. So I'll do that with a dip pen at some point in the future. Okay, and I think this is dry, so we could stick this guy in here. Are these dry? I feel like since it was kind of copy printer paper, yeah, those are dry. But these numbers, oh, I already smudged. C'est la vie. And I don't think there's anything else in the back pages. Oh, that's where I cut to do a little surgery on the reviews page. Oh yeah, I just have a running list of all the books I've read. And then the favorites page is like for S tier books. So I haven't really gotten one of those like really good reads yet, but we'll see. Maybe, actually, honestly, I don't know. Maybe I should put A Mouthful of Dust on there. It was pretty elite. But then do I say that just because I want something on that page? Is that kind of silly? Nothing here. And yeah, then we already did the 365 days checkoff sheet. Oh, and I did start adding the places, like the bookstores that I've been to. I feel like this will be a super fun page to add to, but yeah, that is it. All right, thanks so much for watching and helping me get a little bit caught up in my reading journal. I feel like I'm always slightly behind, but that's the fun of it. Hopefully this inspired you to start a reading journal or gave you some good ideas as to how you can use your reading journal. Please let me know down in the comments what your favorite read so far of 2026 has been, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!